Okay, last class we have done with this container concept, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
one, your screen is showing very, can you zoom it? It is showing only 57%.
I can't zoom it. You only can zoom it.
Oh,
You have a zoom option top.
sorry. Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. See, are we done with the date functions?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. Now, this is actually whatever till now what I have told is just introduction to the X++ programming. This is not the actual application level programming. This is just what are the different objects are available, what are the different methods available in X++ that we have seen through the jobs as of now. Okay, but actual X++ coding will be done. Srinivas, can you mute your mic? Srinivas Reddy, can you mute your mic? Okay. Actually, this X++ coding will be done in a few different objects. In the real-time environment, the X++ program will be done in the classes as well as the forms, as well as the data dictionary tables and the design level. Okay. Coming to application, when we open a form or when we close a form, whatever action we perform on the application, each and every action will be having a override method. Every action that you perform here will be having a override method. Okay, that may be at the form level, that may be at the data source level or table level or class level, whatever it may be. Okay, here when we open a form, we'll be having a override method. When we close a form, we'll be having a override method. Say suppose if I open a form, a few override methods will be called, but you cannot see those methods here, but they are called internally. See here, methods, right click. These are all the ordered methods in the form level. The form level, these are the ordered methods. Okay. See, these methods will be called when we do some operations on the form level. Okay. That means when you open a form, when you close a form, when you print the application on the form, when you resize the form, or when you place the cursor to the first record or to the last record, okay, or when you copy something from the form. So when you do all these operations, when you do such operations, these different ordered methods will be called. Okay, say for example, when you're closing a form, you'll be having a method called can close and close. These will be called. When you open a form, a methods from the form level and the methods from the data source level also will be called here. You'll be having methods from the data source. Okay, the form level and the data source level, and these methods are different and the data source level methods are different. Both are not the same. They are completely different. Okay, see, suppose I'm opening a form. When opening a form, methods are executed asynchronously, but you cannot see those methods. Suppose if I use some info box so that you can see the methods. I'm giving init. Info. Form level init method. I given like this. Form level init method. Okay. When I open this form, you can see the method has been executed. Just if I give the info, then it is showing that the form is getting executed. Okay. Not all the methods gets executed here. Not all the methods. Only the methods that are required at the form opening, those will be executed here. Sorry, I wrote in the data source init. The form init, this is a data source level. Data source level init method, and here this is form level init method. Info form level init method. Okay. Now if I open the form, you'll get two methods. One is the form level init method is being called, and the data source level init method also being called here. Say suppose if I give here, we have still some more methods are there. Okay. Say if I say copy, info I'm giving form level copy method and opening a form, but the copy method is not being called here because we did not, that copy method will be executed only a particular particular action is performed on the copy. Until and unless some action is performed, okay, that copy method will not be called here. Okay. This init method, form level init method and data source init method will be called only when we open a form. Okay. The copy method will be called on a different case. And a few methods are there while opening a form. See here, form level, we have run method also. Info all the three methods are called the form level run method, form level init method, data source level init method. Okay. Now all you three guys are .NET programmers, right? Hello, Rajesh.
Yeah, Varun.
You all are the .NET programmers, right?
Yes.
Okay. What are the different methods called at the page load while opening a form? ASP.NET form.
Page load method is called
Sorry?
pre-init and init.
We have the init, we have the pre-init, we have the page load. All these are
Page load.
getting called, right? When we
Yeah.
open a form. Okay. This is also the same concept. Okay. Those are different events. What is the purpose of the init? We will initialize some values at the init method, or we will give some connection strings, or we will give some database values in the init method. Here also the same concept. Okay. And we have some more methods called here for the form opening. Right click or a method, execute query, info, data source level, execute query. Okay. Init method, form level init method, form level run method, and data source level execute query method. And finally, one method is called, that is at the data source level, add2 method is called. Okay. Finally, the data source level add2 method. So these are all the different methods called when we open a form. Okay, I'm commenting all these things. I have commented all the info boxes. Now if I open the form, nothing will be called here because I have commented everything. Now when I close a form, there are few methods that's called when I close a form. Right click, we have a can close, info, can close. Open a form, nothing is called. When I close the form, that is called here. Form level can close. And one more method is called when I close a form is close. Close the form. Form close is called. Okay. I'll comment these two.
Manu, what is difference between both? Can close and close?
can close, it's a boolean. It's a boolean. That means here we'll check some validations. That means whether all the correct data is saved or not. Okay. If this is true, then we can write the code in this, but the form can be closed.
Okay.
Okay. Can close is boolean, and this boolean can be checked in the close, whether it can be closed or not. If it is true, then we can execute the super. What is a super actually? What is a super?
Refers to the base class.
It's a base class, or
Refers
we
to a
can
base-
say it as a base constructor. It's a super constructor. Okay. For each and every method, that will be a super constructor. That's the first constructor. That means actual functionality of this clause is existing in the super constructor. For every method, there will be a constructor. For all the methods, see super. Super. If this super is not there, it will not execute. If this super is not there, it will not execute. Whatever you are writing, that will not execute. Okay. What are the functionality you are writing in the clause that will not execute if the super is not there? Why we are giving the override methods is to write some functionality while executing that particular event. Okay. See here, can close is there. Can close is a boolean. We can make it as a boolean. RET is equal to super means nothing but it will return as a true. It will return a true. Return RET means return true. Okay. If this is written in true, then we can check the condition here. If it is true, then we can execute the super. If it is false, don't execute the super. Like that we can write the code. Okay. So here we are having number of override methods as a boolean. Okay. So here while opening a form and closing a form, we have seen different override methods. Now when we create a new record here, how to create a new record? By pressing a control N, right? So while pressing Ctrl N, we are able to create a new record. Okay. While creating a new record also, there are few override methods gets called from the data source level, not at the form level. From the data source level, there are a few methods will be called when you create a new record. Okay. So the methods are right click, override method. There is a create method is called. Data source level create method. So if I open this, I'm pressing Control N. Okay, when I press a Control N, it is giving a space for us to create a new record. When we are trying to create a new record, okay, we are getting this create method is being called when you're creating a new record. And we have one more method here, that is right click, new, override method. We have a init value also. Init value. Okay, and I press Ctrl N, both are called. Create init value. and one more method is a active method is called also. Active method also gets called here. Control N. Active method also gets called. So here what is the active method? Active method is being called at the form level as well as the while creating a new record also. See here, when I open a form, the active method is being called here. When I create a new record, then also the active method is being called. Okay. Why? Because active method will be called when a particular row is activated. See here, this row is activated. When we open a particular form, one row will be activated. When that row is activated, that active method is called. At the same time, when we create a new record by pressing Ctrl N, okay, one row will be activated. One row will be activated. Then also the active method will be called. See here, when I open the form, the row is activated. So active method is called. Okay. When I press Ctrl N, okay, when I press Ctrl N, this row is activated. So the active method is called. Active method is called. Now, if I activate any another row, suppose if I activate this row for editing, 1004, I am clicking here. Then also the active method is called. Because when a particular row is activated, that active method will be called. Okay. So that is active method. That is, while creating a new record, the two methods are get called from the data source. No methods will be called from the form level when you create a new record. From the form level, no methods will be called when you are creating a new record. Okay, only at the data source level, create and the init value will be called. And here, when we create a new record and we save the data, I'm creating a new record, okay, I'm giving 1006. I create a new record. When I save the data, I'm saving the data, okay, one particular record will be called here. I'm deleting this, I'll insert it again. While creating a record, while saving the record from the data source level, you'll be having a method called validate write. Info data source level validate write. This will be called. Control N 1007. Okay. Now I'm pressing Control S or save here. Control S. See here. Data source level validate write is being called, as well as table level data inserted also being called here. This insert also being called there. Two methods. That is, validate write is one method and the insert is another method. That is table level insert method. And one more method that is being called here is a write method. Info data source level write method. Control N. Okay, now I'm pressing Control S. See, data source level validate write. This is a data source level validate write, and this is table level insert method. Data inserted is a table level insert method, and data source level write method. These are the three methods gets called here. And we have one more method at the table level. Just I saved the data. I did not insert any data, just I saved the data by pressing Ctrl S. See, table level validate write, data source level validate write, data source level write method. Okay. Suppose if I create a new record and I insert the data, then along with all these methods, this method also will be called data inserted, table level insert method. If I save the data, just if I save the data, if I open it and if I just save the data, these three methods will be called. If I insert a new record and if I save the data, okay, along with these three methods, this data source, table level insert method also will be called. That means it is trying to insert the data. Okay, it is trying to insert the data into the table. That is inserting the data. Validate write.
But when we will use validate write and write methods?
Validate write we will use when we are validating some data from the form. I'll tell you, I'll give you the examples. Once these methods are done, I'll give you the examples.
Okay.
That means when you are validating some data, either some quantity or stock ID, you will validate it here. If a quantity less than or equal to 0, don't insert the data. You will validate it here. And this boolean, this is a boolean. Okay. This boolean you will check in the write method. If validate write is true, then execute the super. Or else does not execute the super. That is validate write. And we have one more method, that is validate delete to delete the record. Validate delete. Info data source level validate delete. And one more method is delete. Info data source level delete. Okay, we got two methods. One is validate delete and other is a delete. Okay, now I'm deleting this record. File delete record. Okay, validate delete and delete. Two methods are called. Okay. Okay. We got one more method, that is a table level delete also will be called here. Table level delete method also gets called here when we are deleting a data. Okay. So the different methods, and other method is info. First record. Hello? Hello, Srinivas, can you hear me?
Yes, Banu.
Hello?
Yeah, we're hearing.
Okay. Okay. See, this is a first record, this is a previous record, next record and last record. Okay. Now if I place cursor at some other place, okay, if I click on the first record, the method what I have given there, that will be executed, the first record. First record. In the same way we have the next also. Info. Next record. Every time this will be called. Every time the row changes, that will be called the next record. Okay, first record and next record. So these are the different methods that are frequently used at the data source level. Okay, even we have the methods at the design level also. In the design level, that is at the control level also, we have the methods. What is the default method of the button? Default event for the button?
Click.
It's a click, right? See here, this is a button. Okay, override method, this is a click, is the default event. Okay, for the button also we are having number of events. Button also we are having number of events. So suppose we have the grid here, okay, and here we will be having the grid level. Okay, in the grid I am having the stock ID. In the grid I am having stock ID. In the stock ID, this is on control. In the stock ID also I am having the override methods. Okay, say I am giving like this. Last focus. Info. When this will be called? When the control is losing the focus. When the control is losing the focus, the last focus will be called. This is here I have written the last focus. Now if I press the tab key, that means this control is losing the focus and this control is gaining the focus. So I got the last focus. When a particular control is losing the focus, we can write the last focus. That is, we can write some code while losing the focus. Now text box, when you are losing the focus, suppose you want to calculate something or you want to disable or enable the buttons, that code you can write it down here at the last focus. Okay, and when some control is getting modified, say stock quantity is there, I am modifying the data in this. Modified. Info. data modify. I'm giving like this. Where I given in the stock quantity. Okay. Now I'm opening the form. Stock quantity, I'm modifying it to 12. And press the tab key and get the data modifier. I'll get only for the stock. If I modify anything here, I'll not get anything. If I modify here, I'll not get anything. Only if I modify this. If I don't modify and press the tab key, I'll not get anything. Only if I modify and press tab key, then only that modified will be executed. Okay, it is modifying the data. And suppose if you mouse over or if you get a focus onto the particular control, you will get the got focus. Okay, and suppose if you want to give a tooltip text for a particular control, you can give the tooltip text also. Like suppose you have the stock name. Okay, the stock name, I'm giving a tooltip. Okay, tooltip I am giving it in this, instead of super I am giving my own tooltip. Enter valid stock name. I am giving like this. Okay, now if you place the cursor here, you will not get any tooltip. In the stock ID did not write anything. Did not write any tooltip in the stock ID. Okay, if I place the cursor in the stock name, then I will get the tooltip. Enter valid stock name. And here I will not get anything. Okay, that is tooltip. And suppose if I change the data, that means key press. If I change the data, so in the stock ID, I'm giving text change. Info. Text change. If you press any key on the keyboard in the stock name, you press any key on the keyboard from the stock name, I press the backspace. Now I'm typing the G again. Okay, this is handling the key events. That is a text change. Text changed. Okay. So these are all the different methods that are used frequently in the real-time environment. See, suppose if you go to the AOT forms, you see in the form methods, you see, you got the init here. In the data source also you can see the methods. Init, update address, data sources, methods, you got active method. Another data source, execute query. Another data source, execute query. Another data source, execute query. Okay, based on the requirement they will write the override methods. Here we got init. Okay, here we got close cancel, close OK. Okay, and in the data source we don't have any methods in the data source. Init is there. Okay, active is there here. Here you see number of override methods. Here we got the close, here we got the init, here we got the So apart from the OR and methods, what are the methods you are seeing here? Okay, what are the methods? Excuse me. What are the methods you are seeing here? Those are custom methods. Apart from the OR and methods, you can create the custom methods also. Those are nothing but the new methods. Okay. Here at the form level, apart from these methods, you can create the custom methods also. New method. If you create a new method, that will become a custom method. So those methods can be executed also here by using the OR methods only. Those methods cannot be executed directly. Those methods also has to be executed using the OR methods, the new methods or custom methods, whatever it may be. Okay. So here we can make use of in all the levels, in all the sections, whatever you are seeing here, you can make use of the OR methods or you can make use of the custom methods also. Okay. Rajesh, is this clear? Srinivas Reddy.
Yes,
Yeah,
Banu. I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
In the
Okay, I'll
custom
continue.
methods, you mean like we can call the override methods, right? That's what you mean.
Yeah. Those custom methods can be called using the override methods. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you the custom methods also. Once these are done, I'll tell you those methods also.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I will conclude the class here, and tomorrow can you come a little bit early by 8:15 because today they have sent a link little bit late for me. 8:15 to 9:15. That is our time, 8:15 to 9:15. Srinivas, Rajesh.
I don't have any problem, Banu, but other people have a
Okay, I'm good, Banu.
Srinivas, 8:15 to 9:15. Rajesh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Fine. Tomorrow we'll meet at 8:15 then. Okay.